Hello, everyone, and thanks for joining us today. My name is George Lawton, and I am the CFO at the Answer Company, and I wanted to introduce you to our new module for collections that will help you streamline your collections process and ultimately improve your cash flow. Before we dive into the details, let me share a bit about myself. As the CFO of the Answer Company, I've seen firsthand the challenges business face with unpaid invoices. Our goal today is to show you how our collections module can make a difference to you through the effortless collection workflow. The collections module is based on a collection plan. You can set up different collection plans and assign those collection plans to different customers or classes of customers. The creation of a collection plan is as easy as just determining the timeline, what the stages are in the workflow, creating any email templates that you wish to include in the workflow, the assignment of tasks to internal people within your organization so that you can escalate where collections are taking a long time, and setting a continuous collections follow-up until the invoice is paid. For example, you could set up a plan that sends an email to your customer 5 days before the due date, and then sends a follow-up on due date. Then, as it becomes more and more overdue, you can send assertive emails to prompt payment with a possibility to escalate after a certain period of time to people within your organization to follow up with the customer directly. And then, of course, you can set it up so that it has weekly reminders until the invoice is paid. As I said, you could set this up for specific customers, all customers within a customer class. Obviously, some customers you might not want to send the nasty emails to, and others, they will only react if you send a nasty email, or in fact, you get one of your customer success managers to give them a call. Either way, you can create whatever kind of plan you'd like and apply it to various customers. You can see this is an image of the module itself. It's fairly simple at this point. On the left-hand side, there's activity templates. Those are templates that you create for the various stages in your workflow. And then there's a definition of collection plans, and then you have the ability to process those collection plans. As with all Acumatica functionality, you can add you can schedule the processing of these collection plans so that they happen without your knowledge and without your intervention. So a very useful tool for collecting or for following up on collections. As we develop this module, we will add additional functionality, but let's just dive straight into a demo at this point. Okay, so here we have the standard customer snapshot dashboard, just a good place to start. If we click on the collections module down here on the left, you can see what I showed you earlier, the collection activity templates, the collection plans, and processing. So let's look at the activity templates. So these would typically be the stages within your workflow. You can see there's one here for 5 days prior, and then there's the first friendly reminder. So creating it is exactly like you would create a template within Acumatica. You can see here from the drop-down list that we can create all these different types of activities within Acumatica, and we can define what notification happens on this particular activity, but given this is an email, we won't have a notification on it unless you wanted to remind your collections people that there was an email that was sent out. Obviously, we would define those we would define an activity template for each stage within the workflow. Now, looking at the specific collection plan, we've got one here called test, and we have added those 2 activities to the plan, and it's very straightforward. So you can see we can say that one starts 5 days before the due date. And then this one is 2 days after the due date. And this is where you can add more if you define more. Obviously we haven't. This would be stage 3. This might be an internal phone call, and it would happen 15 days after due date, perhaps. So you can. There's a fairly large amount of flexibility in how you pull these two together. In terms of assigning those to a specific customer, within each customer, you have a variety of contacts. You would define which contacts would receive notifications by email from the collections module. So you would want to define perhaps the AP contact at your customer, and that would be the one that would get these emails. You could also assign others. Maybe there's a finance lead that you want to include on the collection notices, maybe even a member of the leadership team. That is entirely up to you, and within each customer you can define different people. It doesn't have to be the same contact each time. In terms of actually processing, obviously when you assign a customer to a plan, then they would show up here as being that particular invoice has been flagged as being part of a collection plan, and so it would show up here, and the status, this is a test system, that's why that one failed. But you can see which customer it relates to specifically and which invoice it relates to specifically, what type of activity it is, which collection plan it's running from. And so you could execute some of these, execute all of them, and like I had said previously, you could also set it up so that these were processed automatically based on some kind of schedule. And because these are activities being generated within Acumatica, all of these activities would be available and associated with the customer. And so you could look at each specific customer and see what activities have been performed based on these collection plans. So a large amount of customization from a user's perspective. As we roll this out, we will be rolling it out with a default plan associated, already constructed. So you won't have to construct the default plan, but if you want to create your own plans, we will give you the ability to copy the default plan and change it as you see necessary. Alternatively, you could go in and change the templates if you want them to look slightly different. In due course, we will be releasing a French version as well. So keep your eyes out. I am pushing to have a collections dashboard added to the module as well. So that's coming as well. Well, thank you for your time today. If you have any questions or you would like to learn more about our collections module and how it can benefit your organization, please don't hesitate to get in touch with us. Your path to efficient collections starts here. Thank you and goodbye.